Hi! On the Woodpecker today, I'm making a wooden stand for the phone I'm using as a GPS for my snowmobile. And what better place to try my GPS than at the cottage? When I go snowmobiling, I always bring a phone for the snowmobile trails with me. I like knowing where I am. This way, I have a better idea when I'll arrive at my destination. Several years ago, I printed this support for my phone. Needless to say that with the snowmobile vibrations, it's now in pieces. I will make another one, but in maple this time. I designed my new support with Aspire. This is what my new support will look like. My snowmobile will have a hard time tearing this one apart. But I still need to cut it. For this, I recycled an old drawer front that I've used in the past. In a little bit more than 8 minutes, it's done. But the sides need to be cut. After removing the fuzzings, I can drill and screw the plywood cap. Then the excess can be cut. I still need to drill the hole for the LED and smooth all the edges. It's now possible to assemble it. To keep my phone warm, I will use a 3D printer heating pad. Under the plywood, I put the converter that will power the phone and heat it. The last thing to do is to test it in place. Here I can see that it works perfectly because the LED is lit. Now I need to test this. And this is the ideal time to go to the cottage. Our adventure starts with a huge traffic jam in Montreal. We lost an awful lot of time there. At least on the back roads, it was perfect and the view was delightful. The dirt road is fantastic, at least for the first 60 kilometers. The rest is another story. For the rest of the way, we had to drive inside tire tracks. But eventually, we arrived at our destination. It didn't take long for me to get stuck. After removing some snow, I'm finally able to get the snowmobile on the ground. It's time to get ready to go. This also takes more time than I would have liked. But finally, we are on our way. It's getting late, but at least the trail is nice. But about 100 meters down the road leading to the cottage, I fall into a ditch. The snowmobile is quite stuck. We have to remove the sled and shovel a lot before I'm able to get it out of there. René doesn't want to take any chances. And since it's almost dark outside, we decide to go back to the pickup. This is a shame. Only 3 kilometers from our destination. Having driven 320 kilometers just to turn around is not fun. So we found the closest inn that had a vacancy. This is not an easy thing to find in winter. The next morning, we return to the exact spot where we left off the day before. This wouldn't have been so terrible if we hadn't driven 323 kilometers just for this. This is where I got stuck yesterday. If I look at the road closely, I can see that someone already drove a snowmobile there. This means we will be able to go to the cottage. It was touch and go, but we managed to advance 2 more kilometers. But no one came here, so it's impossible to drive this snowmobile up to the cottage. So we put on our snowshoes and walk the last kilometer. None of our neighbors came this winter, so we need to make our own trail. During our walk, we see 4 trees down on the road. Seeing the gate is quite rewarding. René follows me and widens the trail a bit. At the cottage, I can finally get rid of this useless weight that René made me carry. It's minus 11 degrees Celsius in the cottage. We need to heat the place up. But before doing that, I need to clear the chimney top. With a fire burning, we can go and get the snowmobile. On our way there, we remove the fallen trees. Chopping a tree with an axe is quite exhausting. I had to ask for help from René. I figure I'm better with a chainsaw than an axe. I drive the snowmobile solo to the cottage, figuring that being lighter, I won't get stuck. As you can see, it was a dream. I had the pleasure of another shoveling session. But at least when we get to the cottage, we are able to warm ourselves up, especially when I am able to start the generator, which makes it possible to start the propane heater. The next day, it's not over. While René shovels all the boardwalks, I have to get the pump in the watershed so we can have water. This pump needs to be thawed before I can use it. So meanwhile, I shovel the roof in front of the chimney. I do this every year because redoing the chimney is unpleasant. But I don't shovel all the roof. I'm pretty confident that all those beams will support all the weight of that snow. Now I can pump some water, bring it inside the cottage, and fill the barrel. After moving the valves in the winter position, we have running water at the cottage. But the day is not over yet, because we need to compact the snow in our parking, so I can turn the snowmobile around. This looks like nothing, but even with the both of us, it takes time. Now it's possible to face the other way. And with the snowmobile facing that way, I can go sledding. But it's too late for today. I will have to wait. It snowed all night, and the next morning we had 15 centimeters of new snow on the ground. Finally, sledding time. The trail that René and I compacted is quite nice. But after that snowfall, it's like we never ever went there. But I managed to get to the main trail without any trouble. Now I can sled without worries. Near the cottage, there's a dam to control the water level of the lake. It's a really nice place to take a break. But every good thing has to come to an end, so I need to go back to the cottage. And spoiler alert, I get stuck again. It's really easy to get stuck with this kind of snowmobile off-trail. Unlike the type of snowmobile our neighbor has, they spend the weekend having fun on the lake. With all those tracks, it's way easier for us to take our snowshoes on the lake. This is the view of the small bay in front of the cottage. Only our dog can tell that there's a cottage out there. I really like going to the big rock, which is underwater during the summer. This gives me a little area when they lowered the level of the lake. Here we can see the thickness of the ice before they lowered the water. But like every good thing has an end, we have to go back home. 7 days after leaving it. Before we can put the snowmobile inside the pickup, we need to shovel it a bit. I really had a nice time there. I imagine I disgusted anyone who has the idea to come out there with me. I didn't do a lot of snowmobiling, but our days were full. My only disappointment was that it was too cloudy to see the green comet. I will have another chance in 50,000 years. But you won't have to wait that long before the next episode of The Woodpecker.